Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass, part of our three-part episodes of Halloween Special, where we give each other a movie to watch that we think is probably one of the worst horror movies that we've seen in a long time. Now the last one you saw was Paul, and he gave Mark
friend request.
He just went basically by Google and searched worst horror movies of all time instead of actually knowing the movie and doing a research on it. I, however, did research to find out which movie I want to give him, so he's going to be stuck watching what I think is the worst horror movie of all time. But today, Mark has one for me. This should be interesting. Alright, Mark, give me your movie that you think is the worst horror movie of all time.
So, maybe not of all time, but the worst horror movie that I've seen in recent memory is A Quiet Place. And it's a fairly recent movie. And there was a fair budget for this movie. But was it a good movie?
Well, I rewatched it. I've seen it a few times now. I have not seen this in the theater. I did not see this movie in the theater when I watched it. But there are some things that I enjoyed about the movie. And by the way, it's got a very high percentage rate on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm aware of that.
Also, the critics loved it as well, which is a rare case.
And that is not saying much.
No, but when both audience and critics like it, that is a rare case. So let me set up the premise of the movie. The movie opens up with just some still shots of basically an apocalyptic town. Everything is destroyed. There's nobody around, and there's very little noise. You hear the wind, you hear that's about it, and you see a family walking in silence throughout stores looking for things, medicine, canned food, anything they can use. But it also starts off by saying day 89. So you know this isn't the beginning of something, they're in the process of something. And what I did like about the film is they didn't need to have this narration over top saying aliens were blah 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 and this is what's happening, and then they showed it by newspaper clippings in their wall saying it's sound in big bold letters, stay quiet, stay alive. They got the premise of the movie without telling you about it. Very easy
to figure out. They weren't trying to hide anything.
But take a look at all the zombie movies and everything out there. They explain it to you over and over again, especially if you're at day 89 of a movie in the process. So you're in the middle of whatever happens, and apparently there's something out there that kills people and is attracted to sound, and that's all you know. So the movie is basically, you have to be quiet. And everyone saw what happens at the beginning of the movie on the previews. If you've seen any of the previews for this film, where a kid is standing there and he puts a fire truck and it starts, and the next thing you know, something comes by in a blur and the kid's gone. And that sets up, and now the movie jumps forward. It doesn't pick up from there, but it tells you everything you need to know about a horror film. You know there's monsters that are going to kill you. They're not afraid to eat kids. And noise is what attracts them. Everything you need to know is set up without telling you what you need to know. It's perfect.
Guess how you kill the monster.
Just because you didn't like the ending doesn't make this movie not a good horror movie. I could pick apart a million movies that had bad endings that I liked. Wonder Woman, one of my favorite movies, I hated the ending. So let's go into that. Number one. Oh, shh! I didn't like your ending. Shh. Didn't want her to tell. So overall, the premise of the movie is the family has to stay silent. The mother is pregnant. The kids never hear their father talking to them. They have to find places that they can actually talk and make noise. Game day is in silence. They're afraid to knock something over because apparently any kind of noise can attract the family. And they have their farmhouse all set up for noise and warning systems. If the creatures are around, they flick a switch on it, it all turns red out. So anyone outside in the area knows that there's something wrong at the farm, so they can be attracted to it, right?
And it's like nobody's ever thought of, well, why don't we just soundproof some buildings?
Yeah. Soundproof this house. Oh, by the way, don't make any noise because the creatures will kill you if you go outside.
I could do it.
Mark would be the first one dead. He'd going, what the heck? He'd be dead. Mark would be the kid holding the fire truck. So let's just, was the ending kind of dumb? Yes, you could kind of see it coming because one of the girls has a hearing aid and she keeps fiddling with it and they keep doing these frequency things. At some point that's going to have something to do with resolving the ending and how to kill the creatures. However, the actual premise and the way they did it with the silence and putting sand along the path to cushion the sound of walking, and they even showed some people in the movie who had just given up. They're tired of trying to hide, they're tired of the civilization, and they walk out in the woods and they just scream, so the creature comes and takes them out. It's they're committing suicide in their own way out there. So I kind of liked the way they did that. I might have liked it even better if I actually saw it in the theater, because as long as everyone is quiet in the theater, because you might have had the ambiance from that.
Okay, wait a second. I have to interrupt here. You seem to have liked it. The audience likes it. The critics like it. Something's off here.
Yeah. Mark has no taste in movies.
Mark, you have to explain why you hate it so much.
So go ahead, Mark. So basically, Quiet Place is a good movie to watch for Halloween. It's a perfectly good horror movie. So go ahead, Mark. Why is it not?
The entire movie is foreshadowed in the first 20 minutes of the movie. You know exactly what's going to kill this monster, because sound is what it's attracted to, so you know that, okay, well, that's going to be its downfall. And this little girl's hearing aid is, everything is foreshadowed way too early. You know what's going to happen. I didn't click with this movie at all. I thought it was terrible. I thought that, wait a second, they made this movie just to sucker me in, to get into the theater and spend my money to feed me garbage. That's what they did.
So, long story short, everybody on the planet Earth disagrees with Mark.
No.
Pretty much.
No.
Except for maybe 3%, because Rotten Tomatoes is at 97%. So, you're in the 3 percentile of people who watch this movie.
I am one of the 3%.
That's for sure. I as far as the worst horror movie of all time, I could probably think of 50 off the top of my head. But I'm going to save that because I have the worst horror movie of all time, and I made Paul watch it. And I made him watch it. And I'm so happy I did. So tune in next time. Mark did not win this one. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Nobody who saw this movie won.
Sorry. Tune in next time and check out and see how Paul did on his movie. And in the meantime, why don't you check out some of our other content? Hit that subscribe button.
It's down here.
Well, it's along here. Sometimes it's up here.
No, it's right here.
He's right.